all Fed chairs find themselves between a rock and a hard place, and Jay Powell certainly is in that position right now. What's he going to say tomorrow?
Well, I think he's going to leave his options open. I think that there's certainly more data that they will be processing, and of course the debate will shape, the debate at the meeting will shape their ultimate decision. So I think he's going to leave his options open, but I do believe that there's a greater likelihood than not that the Fed does cut rates at the end of July.
Why?
Well, there's really three reasons. First of all, they've talked about the possibility of moving the inflation target. So regardless of what the
reducing it?
Raising the inflation target. And so regardless of any economic data, they could cut rates as a result of that. Second, all we have to do is look at the jobs report's average hourly earnings, which is probably the most important metric for the Fed. That's still at about 3.1% annualized growth. That's paltry this far into a recovery. Look at Canada. They had a weak jobs report, but they had 3.8% average hourly earnings growth. Right. If we had that, then you could make an argument for staying pat. But I think there's still an argument to be made for cutting rates. And then finally, back in May, the Fed really came out and took a more accommodative stance in response to the trade situation. So if we have a flare-up of trade tensions, which I think is likely, they could use that as their rationale.
Darrell, what do you think Jay Powell says tomorrow? And certainly the questions from the Republican side are going to be pretty tough, and no doubt bringing up the issue of independence of the Federal Reserve. I mean, he's going to have to defend not just their monetary policy, but his very position as chairman of the Federal Reserve Board, right?
Yeah, you're right, Bill. I mean, I think Kristina's right, too. I think there's three elements here that all want and lean towards a July easing. One is, of course, the administration. We heard from Larry Kudlow this morning, but the administration wants the Fed to ease. The markets, number two, want the Feds to ease and have priced in at least one ease, and some would argue two or three. And then if you listen to Powell's June press conference, he was talking about an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? And that making that statement and getting that, call it insurance ease right up front, makes some sense. So should they ease in July? I think that's questionable, and you could make a case on either side of the data. Will they? They probably will, because you have the administration, the markets, and their own comments in the June meeting. If they don't, he's going to have to walk back those comments, Bill, over the next 2 days in a much more hawkish stance than where he left them in June.